Good evening, and welcome to the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club's Monday evening transmission of Amateur Radio Newsline. My name is Russ, and my call is KD8BYT. But for this presentation of Newsline, I will be using the club call Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. Without further ado, this is Amateur Radio Newsline.
The following is a QST. ICOM issues warnings about counterfeit products in the wake of deadly HT explosions in the Middle East. An influential group weighs in on the proposed privatization of 900 megahertz, and three hams have an eyeball QSO that creates some inspiring harmony. All this and more as Amateur Radio Newsline Report number 2447 comes your way right now.
From around the world, this is Newsline, Amateur Radio's independent, on-the-air news and bulletin service. And now reporting from Valparaiso, Indiana, here's Paul Brown, WD9GCO.
As Newsline went to production, ICOM Japan issued a statement regarding its IC V82 handheld radio, a discontinued model that some reports say may have been counterfeited in connection with the deadly explosions in Lebanon. The company's statement did not directly address those explosions by name, but said that the radios and batteries, which were manufactured and exported between 2004 and 2014, went to markets that included the Middle East between 2004 and 2014. Ray Novak, N9JA, Senior Sales Manager for ICOM America's Amateur Radio Division, expressed certainty that the radios in question were counterfeit. Attending a Rhode Island trade show, he told the Associated Press, quote, "I can guarantee you they were not our products," unquote. Acknowledging the relative ease with which unauthorized radios can be duplicated, ICOM's website also includes detailed information showing how consumers are able to determine whether or not their radio is counterfeit. For a link to that part of the company website, see the text version of the newscast at arnewsline.org. An influential group in the U.S. has weighed in on the proposed privatization of the 900 megahertz band just as the clock winds down on sending comment to the FCC. Kent Peterson, KZ0DGY, explains the issue and the concerns.
The Electronic Frontier Foundation, a nonprofit group in the U.S. advocating for freedom in the use of technology, has added its voice to the chorus urging the FCC to keep the 900 megahertz band accessible to amateur radio operators, industrial, scientific, and medical devices, and unlicensed consumer electronics. Those frequencies are being eyed by NextNav, a geolocation technology company, which has made a request earlier this year to the FCC for exclusive rights to part of the spectrum between 902 and 928 megahertz. The private company's stated intent has been to have those frequencies privatized for use by 5G cellular communications and a positioning, navigating, and timing network to be used in the U.S. as backup for GPS navigation. The ARRL and a number of other amateur organizations have already spoken out, urging the FCC to turn the proposal down. In response to the FCC, the ARRL argued that the move would pose a risk to public service because it would edge ham radio operators out of part of the spectrum that is well used. The period for comments to the FCC on this proposal closed on Friday, the 20th of September. This is Kent Peterson, KC0DGY.
In the UK, amateurs using mobile phones to self-spot on the clusters while operating portable got some good news recently from cellular companies, as we hear from Jeremy Boots, G4NJH.
Hams operating portable from summits and parks in the UK may find it easier to announce their activations on the various spotting networks with the help of a shared rural network being created by all of the UK cellular providers. Absence of 4G coverage in rural areas has been a stumbling block for cellular communications in those underserved areas. An agreement was signed in 2020 between Ofcom and the 4 cellular service providers to fill that need. The regulator announced recently that Vodafone, O2 and EE have fulfilled their commitment to bring 4G coverage to 88% of the UK's landmass by this past June, but that the fourth cellular provider, 3, did not meet that deadline. Ofcom said that 3 believes that it has met its commitment as of the 22nd of August. The deadline for the network's completion is the end of January 2027. This is Jeremy Boot, G4NJH.
Outside the U.S., users of DAB Plus technology will be seeing some improvements in the delivery of emergency alerts. Graham Kemp, VK4BB, tells us what's going on.
The delivery of improved emergency alerts and communication is expected next year for users of the newest DAB Plus receivers, which are in wide use here in Australia and many parts of Europe and Asia. According to a report on the Radio World website, the radios will be able to respond instantly for emergency transmissions, switching the receiver to the station transmitting the details and displaying text information on the screen. The technology also enables temporary radio channels to be established for the delivery of information. The standard is known as Automatic Safety Alert, or ASA, and ASA-equipped receivers are also capable of being turned on automatically to receive these emergency messages. The technology was developed by World DAB in partnership with Digital Radio Deutschland, working with the chipmaker Frontier Smart Technologies. The initiative went forward with manufacturers such as JVC Kenwood and Technosat on board. DAB Plus radio is not in use in the United States, but proved especially useful in Australia in 2011 during the floods that overtook Brisbane, Queensland. The deadly flooding killed dozens of people, forced massive evacuations, and ultimately cost $2.38 billion, according to the Insurance Council of Australia. This is Graham Kemp, VK4BB.
A familiar face at Hamvention, a beloved member of the Dayton Amateur Radio Association, and a generous benefactor to ham radio, has become a silent key. Michael Valentine, W8MM, died on the 17th of September. A former engineer for Drake in Cincinnati Electronics, Michael was well known for his inventive entrepreneurial spirit and his generosity to the amateur community. He was well known, too, for his later work with radar detectors. In Jack's announcement of Michael's passing, he acknowledged Michael's belief in giving back to the community. He was involved in a number of University of Cincinnati scholarships and was a major supporter of ARRL initiatives as a member of the ARRL's Hiram Percy Maxim Society. He served on the League's Second Century Campaign Committee in 2014 on the occasion of the ARRL Centennial and launched the Valentine Challenge Fund, matching contributions dollar for dollar. Jack Gerbs, WD8SCT, DARA's past president, said in an email to association members, quote, "Michael, you will be missed until we meet again in that big ham shack in heaven," unquote. Michael was 74. There's been a change in plans for CNET 24, the 3-day regional radio event held in Sri Lanka. John Williams, to VK4JJW, brings us up to date.
CNET 24, the 3-day event organized by the Radio Society of Sri Lanka, has been moved from September 21st to the weekend of October 3rd. Sri Lanka is poised to hold its first presidential election on the 21st of September, and in case a curfew was imposed, the Society thought it best to move the date for the amateur radio gathering. The Society is urging all those hoping to attend CNET to update their hotel reservations. This is John Williams, VK4JJW.
If you know of a club in the Great Lakes region or the Ohio Valley region of the U.S. that has distinguished itself in support of amateur radio, now is the time to let everybody know. Dave Parks, WB8ODF, tells us how.
The next Cincinnati Ham Fest is still almost a year away, but organizers are wasting no time in finding a deserving group of amateurs to receive the award for Great Lakes Region Club of the Year. To be eligible, a club must be located within the Great Lakes region of Kentucky, Ohio, or Michigan. Most importantly, clubs that are nominated must demonstrate a passion for amateur radio and be active in its advancement. Cincinnati Ham Fest also presents an award for Club of the Year among the nominees located within the Ohio Valley region of Indiana, Kentucky, or Ohio. Nomination forms for both awards are available at the Hamfest website, cincinnatihamfest.org. That's one word, .org. Cincinnati Ham Fest won't be happening until August 9th of 2025, but the months ahead will go quickly, so consider who you might want to nominate for these honors. This is Dave Parks, WB8ODF.
Time for you to identify your station. We are the Amateur Radio Newsline, heard on bulletin stations around the world, including the WR6 AAC repeater in Lake Forest, California, on Tuesdays at 6:40 p.m. local time. Hams in India played a crucial role in helping a man return home after more than a half century. John Williams, VK4 JJW, has that dramatic story.
An abused child who was sold by his father and stepmother 52 years ago in India has been able to return home to the property he inherited from his late father in Odisha with the help of amateur radio. According to various Indian media reports, the man, who is now in his 60s, was living in a state-run home whose administrators contacted the West Bengal Radio Club. The West Bengal amateurs are contacted often by local authorities because of the Hams' wide network of contacts. The news report said that more than 5 decades ago, the man's family had taken him to Delhi and sold him when he was about 8 years old. There was no other information available about what happened to him after that, or how he ended up living in a state home. Ambarish Nag Biswas, VU2JFA, secretary of the radio club, told local media that the man's younger brother was unable to recognize him after so many years, but finally made positive identification after viewing the scars on the man's back that had been inflicted by years of childhood beatings. The news report said that initially the younger brother didn't want his sibling returned because he would have had to then share the inheritance of the property with him. The Hams intervened and secured support from the district magistrate and other authorities on the matter. The elder brother was returned home, and district administrators are taking measures to provide him with his inheritance. This is John Williams, VK4JJW.
5 prominent amateur radio operators are among the 13 award recipients to be honored in November by the Radio Club of America, which has announced its incoming class of 2024 fellows. That class of 8 includes 2 hams. Jack Parker, W8ISH, tells us who all of these noted amateurs are.
Congratulations to physicist and radio astronomer Nathan Chip Cohen, W1YW, who will receive the Dr. Arno Penzias Award for contributions to basic research in the radio sciences. Chip is known as a pioneer in the area of fractal antennas. Congratulations also to Tucker Dunham, KD2JPM, who is receiving the Carol Perry Young Professional Award for his work advancing amateur radio digi-repeaters for emergency use. Tucker is studying microelectronic engineering at the Rochester Institute of Technology. James Breckall, WA3FET, will receive the Dr. Ulrich Rode Award for innovation in applied radio science and engineering. An RCA Life Fellow, he is known for his work in numerical electromagnetics and antenna design. The Edgar F. Johnson Pioneer Citation is being given to Stanley Rubenstein, WA6RNU, for his contributions to the success of RCA and the industry. The lead electrical engineer, radio personality, and leader of the Maritime Mobile Service Net, Rene Albert Stiegler III, K4EDX, is being honored posthumously with the Barry Goldwater Amateur Radio Award. Meanwhile, Michael Coulter, W8CI, and Howard Rosen, VE2AED, have been named RCA Fellows for 2024. Michael is well known for his leadership of Dayton Hamvention. Howard, an inventor with more than 83 patents to his credit, is an innovator in RF technology, electronics, and medical systems. This is Jack Parker, W8ISH.
Although radio operators on the amateur and commercial side all take pride in the medium's resilience, several broadcast radio stations in Louisiana were not so fortunate during the recent arrival of Hurricane Francine. The Desk, an industry website, reported that FCC disaster-related reports showed that the Category 2 hurricane took at least 5 radio stations in the state off the air, both AM and FM broadcasters. The U.S. Federal Emergency Management Agency has often underscored the importance of local radio stations in delivering emergency alerts during disasters. The critical role AM radio has played for decades in communicating these messages in the U.S. has been part of a robust debate to retain AM radios in newly manufactured vehicles. In the world of DX, be listening for Lucy, AB3MY, operating as DU1/AB3MY. On Luzon Island, IOTA number OC042 in the Philippines, until the 24th of September. Listen for her using single sideband and possibly some FT8 on 40, 20, 17, 15, 12, and 10 meters. QSL via her home call. Her activity is to honor her late father, Percy Tense, PY2PD. Listen for Michael, OM2DX, using the call sign TO2DX from Reunion Island, IOTA number AF016, from the 20...
are wasting no time in finding a deserving group of amateurs to receive the award for Great Lakes Region Club of the Year. To be eligible, a club must be located within the Great Lakes region of Kentucky, Ohio, or Michigan. Most importantly, clubs that are nominated must demonstrate a passion for amateur radio and be active in its advancement. Cincinnati Hamfest also presents an award for Club of the Year among the nominees located within the Ohio Valley region of Indiana, Kentucky, or Ohio. Nomination forms for both awards are available at the Hamfest website, cincinnatihamfest.org. That's one word, .org. Cincinnati Hamfest won't be happening until August 9th of 2025, but the months ahead will go quickly, so consider who you might want to nominate for these honors. This is Dave Parks, WB8ODF.
Time for you to identify your station. We are the Amateur Radio Newsline, heard on bulletin stations around the world, including the WR6 AAC repeater in Lake Forest, California, on Tuesdays at 6:40 p.m. local time. Hams in India played a crucial role in helping a man return home after more than a half-century. John Williams, VK4 JJW, has that dramatic story.
An abused child who was sold by his father and stepmother 52 years ago in India has been able to return home to the property he inherited from his late father in Odisha with the help of amateur radio. According to various Indian media reports, the man, who is now in his 60s, was living in a state-run home whose administrators contacted the West Bengal Radio Club. The West Bengal amateurs are contacted often by local authorities because of the Hams' wide network of contacts. The news report said that more than 5 decades ago, the man's family had taken him to Delhi and sold him when he was about 8 years old. There was no other information available about what happened to him after that, or how he ended up living in a state home. Ambarish Nag Biswas, VU2JFA, secretary of the radio club, told local media that the man's younger brother was unable to recognize him after so many years, but finally made positive identification after viewing the scars on the man's back that had been inflicted by years of childhood beatings. The news report said that initially the younger brother didn't want his sibling returned because he would have had to then share the inheritance of the property with him. The Hams intervened and secured support from the district magistrate and other authorities on the matter. The elder brother was returned home, and district administrators are taking measures to provide him with his inheritance. This is John Williams, VK4JJW.
5 prominent amateur radio operators are among the 13 award recipients to be honored in November by the Radio Club of America, which has announced its incoming class of 2024 fellows. That class of 8 includes 2 Hams. Jack Parker, W8ISH, tells us who all of these noted amateurs are.
Congratulations to physicist and radio astronomer Nathan Chip Cohen, W1YW, who will receive the Dr. Arno Penzias Award for contributions to basic research in the radio sciences. Chip is known as a pioneer in the area of fractal antennas. Congratulations also to Tucker Dunham, KD2JPM, who is receiving the Carol Perry Young Professional Award for his work advancing amateur radio digi-repeaters for emergency use. Tucker is studying microelectronic engineering at the Rochester Institute of Technology. James Breakout, W8VPV, will receive the Dr. Ulrich Rode Award for Innovation in Applied Radio Science and Engineering. An RCA Life Fellow, he is known for his work in numerical electromagnetics and antenna design. The Edgar F. Johnson Pioneer Citation is being given to Stanley Rubenstein, WA6RNU, for his contributions to the success of RCA in the industry. The lead electrical engineer, radio personality, and leader of the Maritime Mobile Service Net, Rene Albert Stiegler III, K4EDX, is being honored posthumously with the Barry Goldwater Amateur Radio Award. Meanwhile, Michael Coulter, W8CI, and Howard Rosen, VE2AED, have been named RCA Fellows for 2024. Michael is well known for his leadership of Dayton Hamvention. Howard, an inventor with more than 83 patents to his credit, is an innovator in RF technology, electronics, and medical systems. This is Jack Parker, W8ISH.
Although radio operators on the amateur and commercial side all take pride in the medium's resilience, several broadcast radio stations in Louisiana were not so fortunate during the recent arrival of Hurricane Francine. The Desk, an industry website, reported that FCC disaster-related reports showed that the Category 2 hurricane took at least 5 radio stations in the state off the air, both AM and FM broadcasters. The U.S. Federal Emergency Management Agency has often underscored the importance of local radio stations in delivering emergency alerts during disasters. The critical role AM radio has played for decades in communicating these messages in the U.S. has been part of a robust debate to retain AM radios in newly manufactured vehicles. In the world of DX, be listening for Lucy, AB3MY, operating as DU1/AB3MY. On Luzon Island, IOTA number OC042 in the Philippines, until the 24th of September. Listen for her using single sideband and possibly some FT8 on 40, 20, 17, 15, 12, and 10 meters. QSL via her home call. Her activity is to honor her late father, Percy Tense, PY2PD. Listen for Michael, OM2DX, using the call sign TO2DX from Reunion Island, IOTA number AF016, from the 27th of September through to the 7th of October. He will operate CW, RTTY, and FT8 on 60 through 10 meters. Listen for him as well in the CQ Worldwide Ready Contest on the 28th and 29th of September. QSO to his home call. In our final story, we learn about 3 avid contesters who traveled recently to Nashville, Tennessee, where they learned that they could make beautiful music together. Skeeter Nash, N5ASH, introduces us to them.
Jim Green, K0XV, Lonnie Craven, K4KZ, and Dave Needham, AA4VT, are veteran HF operators whose finely tuned skills at sending code demonstrate how well each one knows his way around a CW key, especially during a contest. Never having met one another until this past summer, there was no way these hams could have known that they also share an enviable proficiency in another mode, a mode that also relies on keys, but in this case, musical keys. They all play the French horn, and like the CW key, this brass instrument is also capable of creating a powerful message. It did just that when the men joined the Celebration Orchestra for a performance in late June in Nashville, Tennessee. The orchestra is part of the Global Missions Project that uses the power of Christian evangelical music to transmit a message of faith. After 3 hours of rehearsal on the morning of June 21st, the curtain went up on the orchestra that same afternoon. Jim told Newsline in an email that Dave and Lonnie have traveled internationally on missions with the music ministry, but this was his first time with the Celebration Orchestra. The last thing he expected was an eyeball QSO. Jim told Newsline, quote, "Imagine my absolute surprise to learn that there were 2 horn players who were also radio amateurs," end quote. Now they can listen for one another, whether they are pounding or sounding the brass. As Jim told Newsline, quote, "Whether we perform together again remains to be seen. If we register for a trip, then we will make music together again," end quote. To hear the concert, follow the link in the text version of this week's newscast at arnewsline.org. This is Skeeter Nash, N5ASH.
Don't forget the Amateur Radio Newsline Haiku Challenge. share with fellow listeners the poetry that is inspired by your ham radio experience. If you're not too busy tuning your antennas or chasing the latest DXpedition, pick up a pencil. Share your experience by sending an original haiku to us here at Newsline. Use the entry form on our website, arnewsline.org, and please follow the rules for writing your 3-line haiku. Sorry, but we cannot accept any entries that are not written in traditional haiku form. With thanks to Amateur Radio Weekly, AMSAT News, APRSFoundation.org, ARRL, Cincinnati Hamfest, David Behar, K7DB, the Electronic Frontier Foundation, Franklin Amateur Radio Club, the FCC, 425DX News, Jim Green, K0XV, Ofcom, QRZ.com, Radio Society of Sri Lanka, Radio World, shortwaveradio.de, thedesk.net, worlddab.org, YLBeam, and you, our listeners. That's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline. We remind our listeners that Amateur Radio Newsline is an all-volunteer nonprofit organization that incurs expenses for its continued operation. If you wish to support us, please visit our website at arnewsline.org and know that we appreciate you all. We also remind our listeners that if you like our newscast, please leave us a 5-star rating wherever you subscribe to us. For now, with Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team worldwide, I'm Paul Brown, WD9GCO in Valparaiso, Indiana, saying 73. As always, we thank you for listening. Amateur Radio Newsline is copyright 2024. All rights reserved.
This concludes our Monday evening transmission of Amateur Radio Newsline. I'd like to apologize for the repeat, but I have a new internet, so there was a problem. Net to start in about 2 minutes. Good evening. Calling all amateur radio operators. Welcome to the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club Monday night VHF UHF net. My name is John and my call is W03X. However, for the purposes of this net, I'll be using the club call Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. This is an open directed net. All amateur radio operators are invited and encouraged to check in. You do not have to be a club member. All traffic will go through net control, and since emergency traffic may break in at any time, please leave a brief pause between transmissions. The purpose of this net is to bring together all amateur radio operators for the exchanging of amateur-related ideas and information to enhance net operating practices and to keep members up to date about club happenings.
This net meets here every Monday evening at 8:30 p.m. local time, preceded by Amateur Radio Newsline at 8:01. We will start with announcements and then ask for check-ins from any officer or member who has an announcement of general interest to the club. Once that is complete, I'll take check-ins, call signs only, 5 at a time, and confirming each call. Then I'll correspond with those 5 check-ins and ask for 5 more. As the number of check-ins slows down, I'll start to go 1 at a time. If you're a regular participant, I'll probably recognize you by call sign. If not, please give your call repeated phonetically, followed by your name and your location. When all check-ins have been corresponded with, I will close the net after repeating the announcements. We also operate a band exploration net at 9:30 p.m. after this net. Please join us if you have the privileges and equipment. The approximate frequencies are posted on our webpage, www.cfarc.org, and tonight we will be on 17 meters at approximately 18.127 megahertz. That's because this is a 5th Monday. Here are the announcements. Let's see here. October 9th, that's Wednesday, October 9th, we will meet at the Pilgrim United Church of Christ as an in-person meeting, and it will also be on Zoom. So again, that's 7:30 p.m. Wednesday, October 9th. There'll be a presentation by Mel Vi about why bad antennas work well. Why bad antennas work well. We got a message from Vince that October 1st is the deadline for getting in your newsletter articles. Again, that's October 1st. Get them in by October 1st. To newsletter editor at cfarc.org. Newsletter editor is one word. On October 6th starts a technician license class. Go to www.cfarc.org, click on education, and see the announcement about the class so you can register for it. On Monday, October 14th, is a volunteer exam session. If you would like to take a test to get either upgrade or to get your license, go to www.cfarc, click on the education word up the top there, and it will come up with a list of volunteer exam sessions. Now, you need to pre-register, and also you need to have your FRN. That's all that I have in the way of announcements at this time. So this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor, name here's John, asking for check-ins from officers or members who have announcements of general interest to the club. Okay, not hearing any. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins.
Alpha Charlie 8 X-Ray Oscar. Kilo Delta 8 Sierra Lima Golf 88 SLG. Nick in Orville.
Okay, now stand by. I got Vince AC8XO, and I got KD8 SLG, just Nick in Orville, and then there was another one. Go ahead.
This is KD8YAX. God bless y'all.
Okay, I got KD8YAX. I presume he's in and out. And there was somebody, I got X right after Forrest. Go ahead again.
Whiskey Foxtrot X-Ray.
HMS.
Okay, I got Kilo Foxtrot X-Ray. I got K8HMS and Kilo Foxtrot X-Ray. Give me your prefix of your call sign.
Whiskey Foxtrot.
Okay, I got the Kilo Foxtrot. Okay, so let's see. Let's go up to Vince there, AC8XO. Go ahead, Vince.
Good evening, John. I think it was K8HMS. I just what I heard. So Verizon sucks, and proof positive that cell phones aren't the answer to everything, since Verizon was offline for the better part of the day. You got my email. Everybody on everybody is in membership. Otherwise, if you're looking to submit something, John already took care of that. And it's good to be back home. I can speak English. It's tough to speak Newfoundlander. So other than that, don't have a whole heck of a lot there, John. AC8XO back to net.
Okay, Vince, very well. Good to hear you made it back safely. And too bad on the cell phones there. Yeah, I did get K8HMS. He's number 5. Okay, let's see. So next is Just Nick there, KD8SLG. Go ahead, Just Nick, with your comments. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John W3X at the mic.
Thanks for reminding me about this patent. And also, if he's out there listening to W8VPV, it's streaming it on YouTube, and I got a text message from him reminding me to jump over here. So I wanted to jump in and say hi. Thanks for inviting me. KD8SLG, I'll be listening.
Okay, Nick, thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. It's good to hear from you there, as well as on the net yesterday evening. Okay, let's see. Next was, Forrest KD8YAX was in and out. So next is KF8 KFX. Yeah, I got it right. Go ahead. KFX, go ahead with your comments. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor.
Trying to reach WA8WFX.
Oh, okay. Was that you, Floyd? Okay. WA8 WFX. Go ahead.
Okay, thanks. I don't have much to say. I'm trying to get my little
everything reprogrammed in it, but I don't think it's getting, for some reason I'm not receiving everything, but I can hear you fine on it. And I don't know whether, apparently I was getting through on it, but not so well. Anyways, nice to hear everybody. I'm just going to say hello to everyone and listen to the rest of the net. WAHWFX.
Okay, Floyd, very good. Well, thanks for checking in. Haven't heard you for a while, so it's good to hear from you. So 73, and have a good evening. Okay, and then last on this group was Steve, K8HMS. Go ahead, Steve, with your comments.
W8VPV in the net, K8HMS. Just checking, you've got a copy on me okay, John?
Yeah, okay, so far. Go ahead.
Okay, yep, I never know. I'm on the 2-meter side, so sometimes that works, sometimes 440 better, so being down in the valley. Anyway, not a lot to report, just good hearing from you, hearing the guys on the net. I missed it last week, but anyway, like I say, not much going on, and just feel sorry for all those people down North Carolina and stuff. I'm surprised I haven't heard anything on the news about any of the amateurs down there helping out with stuff, but I'm sure maybe they got something going. So anyway, that's about it. I'll look for you on 17, K8HMS.
On the AriesNet, it was mentioned that there's, I didn't get the whole call. Let's see, it was W something 4 HTP, I think it was. Anyhow, they have some kind of repeater going down there, and you can, you know what, it would be in the Aries announcements that were sent on FL Digi, but they're using Broadcastify with that W something 4 HTTP for about communications because the cell phones are out, so they're using amateur radio through that Broadcastify to disseminate information.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I figured they'd have to have something going down there with the amateurs, and it's just kind of too bad they don't report it on the news. And of course, so far our government done nothing, but they're good for giving money to Ukraine. So anyway, back to you.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, they have that in operation down there, so it seems to be helping out considerably. So thanks for checking in, 73, and we're going to be on 17 meters this evening at 9:30. Do you have 17 meter capability on sideband?
Yeah, I got my MFJ tuner here and my 60-foot long wire, and yeah, it works great. Made a lot of contacts on 17 and 12 and all those. So yeah, I'll look for you there.
Okay, that'll be 18.127 megahertz plus or minus QRM. So I'll announce it on this repeater here as the time gets close. If there's somebody on that frequency, I'll announce the frequency that we'll be having the net on. So thanks for checking in, 73, and hope to hear you at 9:30. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John W03X at the mic, asking for check-ins.
Whiskey Alpha 8 Radio, Charlie, November.
In Chris in North Kansas.
November 8, November Hotel, Mark in Akron. Kilo Foxtrot 8, Alpha Victor Delta.
Bravo 8, Victor Hotel Kilo, John, no traffic, in and out.
That's standby. Yeah, I got Victor Hotel. That last one there, in and out. I got you in and out. Thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. I got WA8RCN, N8NH, KF8AVD, and there was somebody along with WA8RCN. Go ahead. All I heard was NF. Is that right?
Yes, I'm not making it in as much as I thought I was. Alpha Delta 8, November, AD8, NN, Chris in North Kansas.
Yeah, that's right. I heard the North Canton. Okay, we'll come back to you in a moment. So, go ahead, WA8 or RCN. Go ahead with your comments. This is Whiskey 8, Victor, Papa Victor.
Okay, W8VPV, W8RCN, Jim in Northampton over here. Okay, very good. Say hi to everybody. And, well, John, I think we're about finished with the antennas. It's been a long road. Been working for a year and a half on this, you know, and got up the inverted V for 80 meters a couple days ago at 60 feet, and then today we finished the inverted L at 60 feet for 160, so I think we're finally done now, and long road to hoe. Kind of getting tired of working on antennas, you know. But anyway, it's finally done, and I've got, for anyone that's interested here, I took down a 80 meter inverted V that is in fair shape. You know, it's still usable. Hook coax to it and stick it up in the air and tie the ends off and it'll work. It's made out of 12 gauge wire. Then I got a 3-element homebrew 2-meter beam on a wooden boom that, you know, it doesn't have an SO239, but you got to hook the coax up directly to it. And then I had it tied up into a pine tree for about 2 years, 3 years, and took that down. And I got the, you know, the big beam up at 75 feet up there, so I don't need that anymore. So, you know, I'm good on QRZ. If anybody wants this stuff, they can have it for free. I would suggest send me an email. I can send you pictures of what it looks like, so you don't think it's this and ends up being that. And, you know, I want everybody to know, whoever wants it, you know, what they're in for or what they're getting, and not be disappointed if they, you know, drive all the way up here or whatever and think it was this and it turns out to be that. So, but anyway, it's free for her to take it. I was going to trash it, and I thought, well, maybe somebody could use it or something, you know. So anyway, back over to you, John. W8VPV, W8RCN.
Very good, Jim. Okay. So you hear that, people? That's WA8RCN. Look him up on QRZ.com, and his email address will be on there. And correspond with him about an 80-meter inverted V. It's made out of 12 gauge wire, and then he has a 2-meter beam with a wooden boom. You connect your coax up directly, and let's see, was that it? Those 2 items, Jim, or was there a third one?
Just those 2 items, John. That's all I got, free for the taking if anybody wants it. So first come, first serve, I guess. Okay, very good, Jim. Thanks, and
hopefully somebody can put those to good use. Okay, so let's see, that takes us to Alpha Delta 8NN in North Canton. Go ahead with your comments. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John W3X at the mic.
Hey, yeah, thank you, Net Control. Glad to join the net tonight. I heard someone say they were on the 10-meter side. Are we linked to a 10-meter repeater? And if so, I'd love to get that info. And then you mentioned a 17-meter net on, what was it, 18.127. Want to make sure I got that correctly. Yeah, I just wanted to say hi. I appreciate you running the net for us tonight. And letting everyone know 10 meters is wide open right now on the tech side. We've been having a blast the last couple of days just in that 300 to 500 section that the tech people have. So right now is a really good time to get on HF if you've been debating it. But anyway, back to you, Net Control. Appreciate it.
Okay, thanks for checking in. No, the other repeater that this is linked to is the 70 centimeter 440 band. It's on 444.850. It has the same PL tone as this, 110.9. So I'm not sure if you'd be able to copy that from North Canton, but give it a try. See how it sounds. Yeah, that's our band exploration net at 9:30 will be on or about 18.127 megahertz upper sideband, and that's plus or minus QRM. So I'll announce the frequency just before that net starts. I'll announce that frequency on this repeater. So again, that's at 9:30. That's our band exploration net. And I'll be the net control station for that too. Okay, so N8NH, are you in or in and out? Go ahead if you're in.
Thanks, Net. N8NH, Mark and Akron. Just wanted to remind everybody, or maybe if you didn't know, this Thursday at 5:30 there will be a cruise-in at DX Engineering to show off your mobile installations. Everybody's welcome, and we'll look forward to seeing everybody there. With that, we'll turn it back to Net Control. November 8, November Hotel, clear.
N8NH, okay, yeah, thanks for reminding us about that. Okay, he's talking about the cruise-in at DX Engineering, and that's to show off your mobile operation setup. So that starts at 5:30 at DX Engineering there. So I presume everybody knows where that is, and so hope to see you there. Okay, next was KF8AVD. Go ahead with your comments. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor.
Alright, so a few things I got to do. One was volunteer with Aries at the Akron Marathon. Did okay, did some things good, did some things bad, but that's a learning experience. And then number two, the biggest thing that happened to me this past week was my HOA actually approved me putting an antenna on top of my roof, and I'm extremely excited. Now I just got to figure out how to get up there. And also a call out to Steve. This is Tony down the valley. I am just down the street from you. Love to reach out to you.
Yeah, very good. I think he's across the river.
Just a bit. Not too far.
Well, congratulations on that. That is some accomplishment, I'll tell you. So, don't make it too outlandish. You know, you don't want somebody to gripe and then they take away your permission there. So, very good on that. Good to hear that. So, you'll be able to get farther out then on more bands then. So very good. Congratulations. Okay, let's see. And then the next one was In and Out. So this is Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor, asking for check-ins. Go ahead, Frank. Your microphone's real scratchy there.
I don't know if it's my microphone or my antenna. How's this sounding?
It's good there.
All right, maybe I shorted a bad connection or something. Anyway, I assume you got it out. I just got in here November 9th. We're having a club meeting at the church, also on Zoom. Melville will be doing a presentation on why bad antennas often work good. It talks about SWR, and I think a lot of club members, especially the newer ones, might find it interesting. If you can't make the meeting in person, by all means, check our calendar and follow the website, and you can watch it on Zoom. Also, coming up sometime this month, we're going to try to replace the repeater antenna. Need 3 or 4 people, volunteers, to get up on the roof and help me take down the old antenna and assemble a new antenna. We've got some prep work to do before that, but and we'll get word out. But if you're able to help, drop me a note at W8VPV@cfart.org, and we'll put you on the list, and we'll give you as much advance notice as we can. Other than that, don't have a lot to mention other than with the clubhouse now, we're starting to have Clubhouse Wednesdays. We're going to try to do something pretty much the 4th Wednesday of each month at the clubhouse. We did the antenna tune-up session the other day. We did a radio checkout session a couple of weeks before. So we'd like to get that active and in use. We're still putting things together, but we got enough of it set up so we can start to do presentations there and little build projects. All right, that's all I've got. We'll hand it back to you, John. W8EZT, back to net.
Okay, Frank, very good. People, Frank meant October 9th for that meeting at the Pilgrim United Church of Christ and on Zoom at 7:30, October 9th. And that'll be about why bad antennas work well. Okay, thanks, Frank, and we'll be on the band exploration net on 17 meters this evening, 18.127 megahertz, plus or minus QRM.
Thanks, John. What did I say as far as the date?
You said November.
Oh boy, I was thinking ahead. The first Wednesday in November, we're going to do a second antenna presentation. This focusing on impedance, reactance, resistance, how antennas behave when given both the right frequency and the wrong frequency signals, and finally we'll touch on vector network analyzers and maybe even the Smith chart. So that's where my mind was, and I just got sidetracked there. So thanks very much, John. Back to you, W8EZT.
Okay, very good. Well, that's pretty exciting there. So that will be November 13th. There'll be a presentation about network analyzers and maybe even a glance at the Smith chart there. So that's pretty exciting there. Thanks, Frank. So, okay, so this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. I'll take the check-ins one at a time now.
KD8 KVI, in and out.
KD8 KVI, thanks, Ron. I have you in and out. Let's see, in and out. Another check-in, please. Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins. I'll take one at a time now.
K8WTK. Just in and out tonight, John. Thanks.
Okay, Bill, we'll be on 17 meters for the band expiration at 9:30, 18.127 megahertz plus or minus QRM. So maybe we'll hear you then. So I have you as in and out. Thanks, Bill. Another check-in, please.
November 8, Bravo Alpha Yankee, N8BAY, Ralph and Stowe, in and out.
Okay, N8BAY, Ralph and Stowe, we have you in and out. Thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. Another check-in, please.
KE8ULA, Leo and Stowe.
KE8ULA, go ahead, Leo, with your comments.
W8VPV, KE8ULA. Yeah, I just want to say thanks for opening up the club to newbies like myself for that antenna session, tune-up session. Gave me a chance to get a little hands-on, learn a little bit about antennas and antenna tuning. So I'm looking forward to the next one. I'll be glad to help put up that new antenna, work schedule permitting, that is. So, yeah, I plan on going to the cruise-in at DX, not to show off my rig, but I was hoping to see what kind of mobile rigs everybody else has out there, maybe get some ideas for myself. So that's all I got. KE8ULA, back to the net.
Yeah, okay, Leo. Yeah, it was good to see you there last week. So very good. Thanks for checking in, and maybe we'll see you at the cruise in there at DX Engineering, mobile operation cruise in. that's good. Thanks. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins.
KE8ULA recheck.
Go ahead, Leo.
Yeah, hopefully I won't have to work past 5:30 Thursday. Then I'll be able to do that cruise in. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. KE8ULA.
I think it's going to go for at least an hour or so. So if you get there after 5:30, that's okay. Nobody's going to be leaving at 5:30. So that's the story there. Over.
Yeah, copy that. Yeah, okay, great. That sounds good. Yeah, because I'll just come up there after I get off work. Whenever it's hard for me to tell, exactly when I'm going to get off work lately, especially right now with everything that's going on at work. So, yeah. So looking forward to that. KE8ULA, back to the net.
Okay, Leo, very good. Thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins.
K8PU.
K8PU, go ahead, Larry.
John, everybody in the net? Yeah, nothing new and exciting on Oakwood Drive other than they're tearing up the street, putting in new water line. Had to park across the street a few days because I couldn't get in my driveway. Kind of got that now, but something make life interesting all the time. I think I heard today on the news a lot of folks down there, or some folks I guess they interviewed in those Carolinas and places, they just couldn't understand why their cell phones didn't work, and they were really mad at the United States. We don't have a system where their cell phones work. Oh well, yeah. I guess they lived around here, they'd understand how it works better. But it was funny how they were interviewing some of those folks. They thought that cell phone ought to work anywhere, anytime, all the time. Okay, John, catch you over at 17 meters? I can do that. See you there at 9:30. W8VPV, KPU.
Very good, Larry. Well, is that water lines, that they're putting in, that's unusual because they've been going around the area putting in gas lines for the past 5 or 6 years. So that's water lines and not gas lines.
New water main. They said the original one was like over 100 years old. They've been making repairs in Oakwood every so often to fix leaks, and so they're putting in a whole new one from Monroe all the way up to Graham Road.
Okay. I was wondering what was going on there. What's funny, they repaved, Chestnut Boulevard. They repaved it from State Road down to the intersection with 26th Street and 2nd Avenue. And about 2 weeks later, they sprung a water leak there right across from where 26th Street cuts back off. And so there's still a rough patch there now. And then about 2 blocks towards State Road, they sprung another leak. So there's a patch there too. And they had just repaved it. Over.
Oh well, yeah. I guess fix them up. They had quite a time a few years ago when Giant Eagle was still down on Graham Road. With the one there, it flooded, and I took some pictures of the intersection of State Road and Graham. It was coming down off of the hill. I thought it was going to empty that big water tank, but man, it was like a waterfall. And so they ended up putting, as you can see in Graham Road and Drive, where they replaced the line almost all the way up to 12th Street or maybe something. Maybe all further than that. But anyways, okay, John, get you on 17. Back to you, W8VPV K2.
Okay, I recall that damage there on the road from that water leak on Graham Road. Okay, thanks for checking in, 73. Have a good evening and hope to hear you on 17 meters. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins. Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins. Okay, I'll repeat the announcements. Okay, let's see. So, let's see. The closest item here is the DX Engineering Cruise-In. That's on the 3rd, October 3rd at 5:30 p.m. Take your vehicle there with your mobile installation to show that off. And again, that starts at 5:30. You don't have to be there right at 5:30. It's going to go for a while. It sounds like a fun event. Then October 9th is the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club meeting. There'll be a presentation about why bad antennas work well sometimes. And it'll be about SWR and how SWR isn't all that important. You don't have to have one-to-one SWR to have the antenna work and things like that. Let's see. So that will be at 7:30 at the Pilgrim United Church of Christ, which is you get to the entrance by going on 2nd Street south of Broad Boulevard, and that's where the parking lot is, and then the entrance is just off the corner of the parking lot. Again, that's October 9th at 7:30 p.m., and it's also on Zoom. Just go to our website, www.cfarc.org, and scroll down the right side of the page and you'll see the various events going on. Then on October 14th is a volunteer exam session at the Cuyahoga Falls Library on 2nd Street. You can also get into the library parking lot from 3rd Street between Portage Trail and Broad Boulevard. The test starts at 6:30 p.m., so be there before that and have your make sure you have your FRN and pre-register for that also. You can see the link to pre-register by going to www.cfarc.org. Up the top is the word education, and that will open up the page for exams. But on October 6th starts the technician license class. That is online. Pre-register for that, and also find out if you have to get a book or whatever for that. There again, go to our website, www.cfarc.org, click on the word education, and it opens up that page where you can pre-register for that class. There's also a different link, also something about Tiny Be a Ham. If you can see that somewhere, that also takes you to that page. Yeah, for the exam, make sure you have your FRN. That's a federal registration number, I think, is what that is. That would be for the exam on October 14th. Okay, let's see here. Oh, yeah, and it's a Laurel exam, so there is no fee for the test. There's just the FCC fee that you deal with that with the FCC. And then on November 13th, the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club will have a meeting again at the Pilgrim United Church of Christ in Cuyahoga Falls, and it will be a presentation about antenna analyzers and impedances and things like that. So that's also, there may be a demonstration with those VNAs, those little analyzers. So that will be a learning and informative meeting there. Again, that's 7:30, November 13th at the Pilgrim United Church of Christ, and it will also be on Zoom too, which you can get the link from our website on the right side of the page there. Scroll down to that date, and the Zoom link will be on there. And soon we will be installing the new antenna, the new 2-meter repeater antenna at the repeater site. We worked on the antenna at the clubhouse last Wednesday, and we got some we took some measurements and things like that, so we know the length of the settings that we're going to set it at, and we have to do some weatherization to it to help it to last for at least 10 years. So we will be putting that up soon. And W8 number 12 wire, and he has a 2-meter homemade beam on a wooden boom. Both of those items are free to somebody that can use them. So if you would like to obtain one of those items, or both of them, go to qrz.com, and Jim's email address is on there. Again, his call sign is W8VPV. That's Whiskey Alpha 8, Romeo Charlie November. Okay, that's all that I have in the way of announcements. So this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor, last call for check-ins.
This is Kilo Echo 8 Uniform Lima Charlie, in and out.
KEAULC, I have you in and out. Thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. Yeah, there was one other announcement. If you have articles, get them into Vince, newsletter editor at cfarc.org by October 1st. That's the deadline. Get them to newsletter editor at cfarc.org by October 1st. Are there any other last check-ins? Okay, not hearing any. In preparing to close this net, I would like to thank all of you who took the time to join us and check in tonight. Without your participation, there would be no net. This has been John, and my call is W03X, and it's been my pleasure to host this evening's net. At this time, I will close the net with 18 check-ins counting myself, and return the repeater to normal and customary amateur radio use. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor closing the net at 9:19 p.m. local time. 7-3.
W8VPV. Repeater TL110.9. Port link off. W8VPV. Repeater
This is W3X announcing the band expiration net that Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor will be on 18.127 megahertz. The band sounds to be pretty clear. So this is W3X. I'll be clear this repeater here.
W8VPV repeater.